Hi, Midgie. We're gonna go ride now, okay? Bye-bye. Oh, hi there, Big Red. Girl, you've been good to me. You've been good to me. But alas, today is our last ride together, because your owners are coming to pick you up first thing tomorrow morning. I didn't even plan on riding the bike today, you guys. Been so busy with work and freelance and stuff, I haven't had the time. It's been unfortunate. Been traveling out of state every single weekend for really awesome, fun events, but didn't feel confident enough bringing a bike that I do not own that I could very easily damage in the process. So today we're staying local, hanging out around town. We're going to go take one last little rip on the beautiful 2021 Street Glide. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on loaning this bike. Let's ride. It's so pretty. It looks like Christmas. So I'm going to be completely transparent with you guys. I unfortunately did not get to ride this motorcycle as much as I would have absolutely loved to. I've mentioned in previous videos that when I was talking with Harley Davidson about potentially getting a loaner bike, my main priority was getting a loaner bike for Captain Anna so that her and I could ride to New York together. I obviously had the Dyna, and I wanted her to have something a little more comfortable than just the Scrambler to ride 500 miles to New York on. So the conversation went. Harley Davidson said, yes, of course we can loan you a Sport Glide. Would you be interested in loaning a Street Glide? And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I would absolutely be interested in loaning a Street Glide. And they asked if I would ride the Street Glide to New York for Babe's Ride Out. And I said, honestly, it depends. The way I pack my motorcycle, I'm very heavily reliant on a sissy bar. You know, with the tent and the gear that I have and the luggage that I use, I need a sissy bar. So Harley said they would attempt to find me a demo bike with a sissy bar. Well, these demo bikes are 100% stock. They're brand new. They had 3 miles on them. So I didn't expect them to find one with a sissy bar. This camera, oh my gosh, you guys. I'm gonna have to leave an Amazon review on this camera mount because it's atrocious. So when I saw the Street Glide and I saw that there was no sissy bar, I was like, okay, it looks like I'm taking the Dyna with me to New York, which it was totally fine because a lot of you guys, you women, recognize the Dyna. She's an iconic bike. She's my, you know, my babe, my channel motorcycle. I have made a terrible mistake by not putting on my sunglasses. Ah, I'm a vampire. Oh boy. Maybe if I hide behind the little baby windscreen. No, I can't see anything. So long story short, that is the honest to God reason. Hi guys. That's the honest to God reason why I did not ride the loaner motorcycle to New York. It all comes down to I couldn't pack all of my stuff on it without a sissy bar. So since I have been traveling so much, like I mentioned, I haven't had a great opportunity to really put some miles on this motorcycle and give you an honest review of what I think of this bike compared to their other bagger motorcycles. And that was never the goal. That was never the ask or the intention. Honestly, there wasn't really much of an ask or an intention when I was communicating with Harley Davidson about the loaner motorcycles, but I am so thankful that they were willing to work with me and give me one of their brand new motorcycles to ride. I've had this bike for almost a month now, and like I said, unfortunately, I just haven't had the actual time allotted to put some miles on this bike because I was too busy putting miles on my own bike, which that is not a complaint. That is not a complaint. I've had a wonderful time riding my Dyna around the country. Well, around the northeastern area. So after having put at least a few miles on this motorcycle, I feel like I can very confidently say that I love this bike. This actual engine, this model, this motorcycle is a wonderful bike. Would I buy this bike personally, the Street Glide? I don't think so. I don't think so. And that all comes down to aesthetic. Like I said in my previous video of us on this motorcycle together, that comes down to aesthetic. And aesthetically speaking, I think I prefer the fixed fairing over the handlebar mounted fairing. I feel like the weight distribution is a little bit more controllable, especially for someone of my stature. I'm 5'7", I'm a 32-year-old lady. And I feel like the Road Glide is a much more manageable motorcycle for me, personally. That does not mean I am not enjoying riding around on this Street Glide. This is a wonderful motorcycle. And as I mentioned in previous videos, this could potentially be redundant, but these are still just my initial thoughts and reactions. This honestly is not going to be a review. I don't review motorcycles. I test ride them, I ride them around, and I let you know how it feels emotionally to be on this motorcycle. So, for me personally, I love how everything feels just like, you know, nice and close and manageable and powerful and sexy. Like, I think this is a sexy motorcycle. The color is absolutely hot. I love this billiard red color. And I just love how my body feels on this bike. I mean, we are just planted right now. The shifting is so smooth. The transmission is so buttery. She sounds amazing. And I just feel like I'm in absolute control. There is just something about the summertime in the evenings riding around this cute little town that makes me crave ice cream. Oh, I want ice cream. But I'm being good. I just got back from my Grits and Glory moto camp out, and I drink too much, essentially. That's all this comes down to. This is just what I love. Like, honestly, if I didn't have a camera on me right now, I would be thoroughly enjoying this wonderful evening ride, listening to some music, sightseeing. I'm looking for puppies right now. I don't see any right just yet. But my favorite thing about this bike right now is I'm riding through this beautiful little old quaint town where everyone's just outside enjoying their summer evening, and I'm not on this obnoxiously loud Harley Davidson like I am when I'm on my Dyna. That's not to say that these bikes don't get loud. Of course they can get loud with some aftermarket pipes on them, but this is 100% stock and lovely. But I don't know if you guys remember in one of the videos where I was riding the Road Glide around for a week, I said, you know, this bike's just a little too big and heavy for me to ever really want to do just like quick little around town rip. For some reason, I don't feel that way about the Street Glide. Okay, I will say, maybe it's just me. I don't know how I feel about the mirrors, like right there. Because I'm gonna tell you what, I tried to move them so that I can see, and of course you shouldn't do this when you're riding, so like do as I say, not as I do. But I'm trying to maneuver the mirrors when I'm riding, and it like shoves the handlebars in the direction I don't want them to go. So that was a little sketch, but that's me. That's just me. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't feel like this bike is too cumbersome or heavy or just like, I feel like I can comfortably ride around town. I can go slow speeds, you know, I can cruise at 25 miles an hour around these little residential roads and feel completely satisfied with it. I still feel like I'm riding a motorcycle. I don't feel like I have to be a speed demon or a cross-country crusher. Like, I'm just enjoying the bike as it is. The friction zone is perfect. The throttle response is mwah! That is why I love throttle by cable. Cannot claim to be a fan of an electronic throttle. Personal preference, everyone is different. Cannot claim to be a fan of riding modes, rain mode. No. I like motorcycles that do what I tell them to do, and this bike does what I tell her to do. I believe I mentioned this in a previous video, but I'm thoroughly enjoying the analog clusters up here. And look, you guys think I'm looking at the clusters and not the road, but I'm promising you, I'm looking at the road because a beautiful little doe just walked right in front of me. The deer have been bad this year. So just a little nod to all of you guys, you keyboard warriors. You tell me I talk too much, you tell me I ride distracted, I use my hands too much. Trust me, you guys have no idea what I'm looking at all times. I'm very aware, and I am a very defensive rider. Not aggressive, defensive. There is a difference. Always assume that everybody's out to kill you, because they are. They can't see you, especially the deer. Oh my goodness. Okay, wow, the cavalry is here. Hi guys, you're doing great, you're doing great. Keep going, keep going. Scared the hell out of me. You guys are doing better than I. I'm not engaging my core too much. Gosh, what a wonderful little last ride, Big Red. This is lovely. You've been so good to me. I'm sorry. I should have treated you better. I should have taken you out in the rain. I should have rode you more. Oh, I do apologize. I do apologize. I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm kind of having a hard time thinking of things to say because I'm just like, I'm in a state of just pure happiness right now. It's not coming through in my voice. Usually, you know, I'm really giddy and obnoxious and loud when I get on my motorcycles and I'm in a good mood. This is a very real feeling of like, I don't know, serenity, calm, just it feels like home. This feels like home. Oh, I want to get into these corners so bad, but like I said, you can't, man. You just gotta assume there's a beautiful little Bambi just standing on the other side of every one of these blind hills. I definitely can't wait for the day where I can have a bit of a newer, more technologically advanced, smoother, more powerful motorcycle in my garage that has the attached hard bags where I can just put all my junk in the trunk and hit the road. I feel like I've done enough jibber jabbering. Like I said, I really want to hop off of this bike and kind of give you guys a little tour of the motorcycle itself. And I want to just shut the cameras off and enjoy our last ride together. I'm not like attached to this bike because it's a loaner bike, but in some way, like my heart kind of aches because I feel like I didn't do justice to this motorcycle. Well, I feel like I didn't put her through her paces and really get to see the characteristics of this bike and how we would be compatible together. Maybe one day I can get like a long-term loaner and really show you guys like what it means to ride different motorcycles and your riding personalities and how each motorcycle is so different. Even though quintessentially they're the same, every motorcycle has a different personality, and that's never been more apparent to me than it has since I've bought the Scrambler and I've ridden the Harley Davidsons, the Baggers, I rode the Sport Glide, and there's just so much personality to every single one of these bikes. Each one of them speaks differently to me. So, her two wheels, the motorcycle whisperer. But let's go ahead and pull over and pop a squat so I can show you this beauty in person.
Well, that was our last ride together. I don't know why I'm acting like she's a sweet little dog that I have to, you know, put to rest or something, put to pasture, but it's kind of what it feels like right now. Just having that freedom of a really big, beautiful motorcycle to hop on anytime I want and ride wherever I wanted to without any expectations of what to record, where I need to ride, how many pictures I need to take. I was just thoroughly hopping on this motorcycle and going. I did get to ride her a few times without the cameras on just to really feel the excitement and the enjoyment of riding without being a personality on the internet, and I'm so grateful for that opportunity. So Harley Davidson, thank you so much for trusting in me and the channel to potentially see value in being able to loan me one of your motorcycles to show to the rest of the world. I thoroughly enjoyed this bike. And for my viewers watching, you know that I have been wanting a bagger motorcycle for quite a long time now, and I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on whether or not you think adding a bagger to my garage would be a substantial step up for myself as a person, a traveler, a vlogger, a YouTuber. I'm interested to hear your thoughts because I'm in love with these motorcycles and I really want you guys to be in love with them too. Based on how these videos typically perform, I think I know the answer to that, but I love having the conversation up front regardless. The things that I absolutely adore about this motorcycle is the engine displacement. I feel like this is a very capable, powerful engine, lots of low-end torque for this big, heavy frame, but not overwhelming where I feel like I might accidentally whiskey throttle or, you know, anything like that, which I wouldn't. I'm not that kind of a person. I'm very in control of my motorcycles, but accidents happen, I get it. And on this motorcycle, I felt very in control every single time I rode it. Something else I love about this bike that I don't typically focus on when I borrow or test ride motorcycles is I adore the mag wheels. I hate spoke wheels. I love tubeless tires, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I understand you can put 90-degree valve stems on any wheel, on any tire, but just being able to easily check the tire pressure on that motorcycle because of the mag wheels on it are like, thank you. I love them. I love them. If we are talking aesthetics of this bike, I absolutely adore the billiard red. That color is so hot, so just eye-catching. It's not this big, obnoxious, like bright fire engine red. It is a sexy looking bike and definitely catches my eye every single time I open up the garage. On top of the color, I'm actually a huge fan of chrome. For as much as I honestly love the special version of these bagger motorcycles, I love the Road King Special, the Road Glide Special, and the Street Glide Special. I love a good blacked out bike, simple, aesthetically pleasing. But I personally love chrome. I think it's flashy and, you know, attention seeking. I have a lot of chrome on the Dyna. It's a pain in the butt to keep clean, but honestly, so is matte black. Pick your battle. I think the chrome is beautiful. As I mentioned, I love how close everything feels to me. The fairing is very close and manageable if I need to toggle in between anything on the screens or reach the mirrors. As I mentioned earlier, I do love that this bike feels just like snatched. I don't know if that's the proper term. I could be using a very inappropriate term here. Come on, I'm a millennial in my 30s. I don't know what I'm saying, but just like, ooh, everything is nice and tight, really close to me. And of course, I love the bags. I love that they are the easy open bags. I can sit on there, put my little bag of Taco Bell in there and move on my way. Some opportunities I think I would personally have with this motorcycle if I owned it. I would personally get a much smaller seat. I have very narrow hips. I'm not an incredibly tall woman, 5'7", I feel like is relatively tall for a female, but I would love a smaller seat, something more nimble where I can really feel confident maneuvering this bike around at slow speed or while I'm just duck walking it. Something else, I ideally would love to put different bars on this bike. I have an obsession with T-bars. I honestly don't think I've ever seen a Street Glide with T-bars on it, but I love the idea of higher bars, and I would like to put my mirrors on my bars. I understand the fairing is fixed to the bars, and it really shouldn't matter where the mirrors are because your fairing is maneuvering with your bars. But there's something about just being able to reach up on the bar and move my mirror. I understand not having mirrors on the bars cleans the look up a bit, and especially as a motovlogger, I adore clean bars because I can put my phone mount on it, I can put a cup holder on it, I can put a million cameras on the bike and be happy hunky-dory. The only other thing I would change about this motorcycle, I would put a sissy bar on it. I can't function without my sissy bar, man. It's like I've lost my identity. Other than that, I thoroughly think this is a wonderful motorcycle, a beautiful platform, very comfortable. It's confidence-inducing, it's eye-catching, and it is built for the long haul. So I would very much go to say I think this is probably the perfect motorcycle for anyone looking into getting into a touring model bike. As always, please go to your local dealership, ask them if you can test ride the different models. You know, I strongly encourage you to test ride bikes because, as I mentioned previously in this video, every single bike has a different personality. Every single bike speaks to you differently. Your riding styles are different from where you think you want to be in a couple years. So please go test ride these bikes. At least up at my dealership, Faro Harley Davidson, we are allowed to demo ride any motorcycle. I hope you guys have enjoyed these quick little series of us on the Street Glide here. Again, I want to thank Harley Davidson so much for granting me this opportunity and just trusting me with this motorcycle. Thank you guys. I hope I have the opportunity to test ride more bikes in the future. And for you guys watching, if you would love to see more long-term test rides on the channel, please leave a comment down below so Harley Davidson can see how much you've been loving the content. I know you've been loving it. You know you've been loving it. Let's tell the world and continue growing this platform together so we can test ride all the motorcycles. Without further ado, I still have to ride this beautiful creature back home because the guy's coming to pick her up at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, and I want to make sure she's ready to roll for him. So I'm going to enjoy my ride home. Thank you guys again so much for watching this video. I've had a wonderful time making them. And until my next one, you be good, and I'll see you later.